on, and welcome back to Minecraft. I'm your host, nicodemoscain, and this is my just blow-off series that I do just to screw around. I don't really get too serious in these. I just kind of do my thing. I don't remember doing that. But if you've watched these for any amount of time whatsoever, you know that I'm usually in here and I'm usually drinking. But I'm not drinking today. I wasn't drinking on the last one either because the last one got kind of serious. If you saw the last one, it was about this new religious journey that I'm on right now, it's definitely a journey. Um, it's definitely a journey fraught with many obstacles and many many different roads and pathways. I am still not only coming to terms with it, but I am also I'm still trying to figure it out. Just trying to get it into my head that this is the new way. This is the new way that things are going to be done. If you if you saw that, then you know that I had based upon just my beliefs of the world as it is that I finally came to the conclusion that there has to be a creator, there has to be a God. And even though I had never chosen that God as my choice before, I decided to go with the Christian God, the belief that God is the creator, and that he had a son, and Jesus died for our sins, and that he is the one true path to be able to get into heaven. And it's still very weird for me to say, but slowly but surely I'm starting to find out that it doesn't it doesn't feel so weird if you say it enough. It doesn't feel forced like it used to. It feels natural now. I think that's part of the process, even though there's other part of the process or other parts of the process that I look at and I think, well, shouldn't I be feeling more than this? Shouldn't there be something else to it? Maybe they're supposed to, maybe they're not supposed to. I don't know. I'm really still just I'm trying to figure this out. And I maybe that's part of the reason why I decided to record today. I don't know. I don't really know. It in coming in here and saying that I was going to record something. I had many different ideas about what I would have liked to have said. Most of them deal with, well, maybe we could talk about conspiracy things, maybe we could talk about this, maybe we could talk about that. And in the end, I'm just like, well, why don't we just talk? I mean, that's what we've kind of, done these for anyways. This is my way of expressing things that are going on with my life, is to come in here and just kind of play a game and just talk about my problems, my situations, whatever the hell's going on. So I'm here. You might hear me start to get a little sniffly. That's gonna be because I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, and usually whenever I come down here in the mornings, that's whenever my nose starts getting really messed up. Let me turn this up a little bit. I don't want to turn up too much. It was just very loud when I started. I can hear my I can hear my beard wrestling up against the. I can hear my beard wrestling up against the microphone. So, I've been trying to. Well, okay. I've started looking into what is coming. That's the best way I can describe it. For anyone that has been reading Bible and has been seeing the signs, I would say that if you do believe that the book is 100% true, which more and more I have the belief that, well, maybe there's something to it, that we have something coming up in the next couple months that points to something pretty crazy happening. I don't know. I don't want to point anything. I don't want to like set anything down specifically. I don't want to say, oh yeah, this is because it's in the Bible. It's probably going to happen. I don't want to say that. I don't want to become. There's a lot of guys out there that they are sure 100%. They'll be like, oh yeah, this is going to be this. That's going to be that. All this stuff. And I don't know. I don't know. There's. I like to listen to a lot of different YouTubers. I don't just subscribe to one guy that will say, "Oh yeah, the world is going to end and this is going to be this and that's going to be that." I've never been that guy to just fall for one thing. I have to. Not only do I have to do my own research, but I like to hear a lot of differing opinions, especially when it comes to like grand scheme type of things. I like to hear differing opinions when it comes to conspiracies. And I've already said that I am a conspiracy guy. I believe in conspiracy theories. I am one of the guys that has said you could possibly get me to believe that the moon landings were real, even though I don't believe that. You could possibly get me to believe that JFK was killed by a lone gunman. I don't believe it either. And you could, possibly get me to believe that, what was the other one? There used to be like several of them I used to say, but I can't remember what it was. But, you'll never get me to believe that 9/11 was caused by anybody else other than our own government. I'm one of those guys. But I like to hear more than just one person's opinion. I don't want to like take everybody's. I don't want to take everybody's ideas just in pure faith. Let's put it that way. So I am one of those that. Wow, what is that noise? That's weird. I am one of those guys that I can see past the bullshit, if you will. I like to offer my own opinions on most times because I think that we don't really know what's going on. We really truly have no clue. There's something happening in the world, and for us to even remotely think that we know what's going on is ridiculous. We don't know what's going on. So I listen to people's theories. I listen to a lot of different people's theories about this. And this has led me to go around and, like I said, I listen to several different guys and try to figure out everything. And you will hear the guys that will say, we have a a massive shift of something that's coming up. That it's the rapture. It's going to be the tribulation. It's going to be all of this stuff that as someone that's just coming to Jesus and just coming into this whole realm of possibilities as it concerns salvation and all of this. I look at it like, okay, what's right, what's wrong? What exactly is going on here that will give me that extra little bit that I could look at and I could say, oh yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those types of deals where this is gonna suck. It's one of those types of deals where nice, break both my legs. Where even though my beliefs are starting to bend towards, okay, well this is a thing, I get it now. At the same time, I'm like, okay, well, prove to me just a tiny bit more, give me that tiny little extra bit more so that I can take this to somebody else and say, look, this is legit. This is something you need to look into, because I do want other people to see what I'm seeing. I really do. I want. I have many, many, many different people, friends, because I used to be in the heavy metal community, and in the heavy metal community, we just don't believe in God. That's just, some people do, and hey, that's great. I am proud for those now. I get why some of those people were the way they were. Am I completely out of bread? Oh crap, I'm out of bread. I need to go make a trip back. I get why some of the people were the way that they were, and I get why they were. I get why they would tell us about certain things. I get the reasons behind the way that they would talk and the things that they would sometimes sing about. Because we had a couple different bands that would do very religious songs. It was an interesting kind of thing, and I never really thought about it until just recently, and it's like, I kind of get that now. I get where they're coming from. I get what's going on. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't even know. Shit. Anybody know the way home? I don't remember how to get home. I think it's that way. Oh man, I don't remember. That's west. We went north. Or that's east. We went north. So I think it's down that way, actually. Or I could just kill a pig. Kill a pig and cook his yummy flesh meats. But since I've decided to put my faith over in Jesus, since I've decided to put my faith over in God, I have been praying almost every day. I don't pray every day. I have a feeling I probably should be, because the more that I have been praying and talking to God, sitting down, seems I do it a lot now. I sit down and we'll talk to him, and I I thank him for showing me the light. I thank him for putting me on this path, and I beg him for my absolute forgiveness because I have been looking back on my life and I have been seeing it that man, there's just been some horrible things. I have done some of the dumbest, stupidest shit ever, and some of it I still continue to do, and I have asked him for strength to be able to overcome a lot of the nonsense that I've done and continue to do. And I absolutely understand that for me to continue to do some of the stupid stuff that I do is it makes me a hypocrite, and I don't want that. I don't want to be a hypocrite in the eyes of the Lord. I want to I want to be saved. I want to know that I've at least tried to do right and that He understands that. Because if there is something coming, and there are a lot of signs uh, coming around over the next couple months that are kind of demonstrating that there might be something coming around, and you don't have to believe it. You don't have to. You don't have to be like, hey, I don't believe that nonsense. You're just out of your mind. You're letting fear porn get to you. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. I will be the first to admit that maybe there is some fear porn going on there, and maybe that I just need to quit worrying about it a little bit. But at the same time, I believe big ass hole here. Oh shit. I believe that signs are real. That when somebody sees something either in their dreams or just they're given some kind of idea in their head that it's true. I am the perfect example of that. And you again, a lot of people don't have to believe this. You can say I'm crazy. You can say I'm insane. It doesn't matter. This is what I believe. This doesn't have to be what you believe. And people can have different concepts of things that happen. But one of the things that I've had over the years is I have had, I don't want to say prophetic dreams. I have had dreams that have come true. Let's put it that way. It's almost like a sense of deja vu when it happens. It's like in my dream I will be in a place, and it doesn't have to be a place I've never been in. That's one of the things that's really gotten me about it is that sometimes the dream will just be a place I've never been to. Uh, there will be people that I have never seen, and they say you can't do that. They say that you can't dream about someone you've never seen because your brain just doesn't have the power to be able to contemplate a new face. And I believe that to a point, because I've had those dreams where I've been in a place I've never been to. I've been around people that I've never ever met before. And somehow, some way, that dream came true. It's the weirdest thing ever, and I can't describe it, but it's in my eyes it's the truth. In my eyes, it's something that really happens. And it's happened to me several times throughout, well, I don't even want to say several times. It's happened to me many, many times in my lifetime. So much so that I almost called it a gift at one point. It's like the Shining. It's the Shining, of course, for anybody that doesn't know. But what was groundskeeper Willie used to call it, the Shining in the Treehouse of Horror. He's got the Shining. but but I never was able to completely comprehend what it was, but it was always just one of those things that kind of happened, that I just kind of, if I was ever in that situation, I would say, I've been here before. I've done this before. This is a thing that I dreamt this. This is what did I used to call them? I don't know what I used to call them. That's sad that because I used to have a name for them, and now I can't remember what it was. But it's one of those types of deals, where I've had that, and I've heard that I have an aunt that wrote a book that. In the book, she described my grandfather's side of the family and how we were a family of natural healers and psychics. That there were several tales of cousins, very, very far distant cousins, that used to do the healing of hands, where they would come and lay a hand on you and, they would heal you. And there was a point where I didn't believe it. I said, that just sounds like the craziest nonsense ever, until I started having the dreams. And it wasn't like, they just popped up out of nowhere. I've always had them. They've always kind of been around, and it's always kind of been a thing, but it wasn't until I heard her saying that they really started taking on a different meaning for me, and I really started hunting them out and trying to find it, because I do also believe that we can tap into some kind of primordial energy that there is a higher conscience in this. There really truly is. So I understand the power of dreams. I understand the power of prophecy. I understand the power of all of this. And if you have a book that's first of all, it's old. It's older than dirt. It's literally one of the oldest books that we know. It's not the oldest, but it's one of the oldest. And when you hear about how it has not only prophesied things that have happened in real life, but things that may come, you have to kind of give it a little bit of you have to kind of give it a little bit of a look. So when the Bible wants to sit there and say that, there's going to be a sign in the heavens before the world ends, you have to kind of look at it, and you have to kind of think, okay, well then what does this mean for us? It's one of those types of deals. It's basically what all this is getting to. all this roundabout talking is getting to, because I still, like I said, I still don't know how to talk about it. It's still a very weird thing for me. But what all this what all this is basically getting to, what it's all hinting at, is that Revelation 12, it says something about there will be I don't remember who it was. I know I'm horrible at this because I can read it, but it doesn't, sometimes doesn't click in for me. I think, was it Mark that was up, that went with the, it was somebody that went up and he was shown what the end of days would be like, pretty much what it was. And the sign basically was, he looked up into heaven before everything just went crazy, and he saw a virgin mother about to give birth. She had a crown of what was it, 8 stars, 9 stars, no, 12 stars, I think that's what it was. I don't remember exactly what it was. I know I'm horrible. But there was a certain amount of stars, and she was bathed in the sun's light and all this stuff. And I'm not giving any credibility to myself if I don't know the actual lines. But in a roundabout way, it was saying, there's this, and that, and when all this comes to pass, something will happen. And there's a lot of guys that have gone out of their way to try to decode that. And basically what they have found is that there is a massive star alignment that's happening September 23rd of this year that fits almost exactly the entire prophecy. There's Jupiter is going to be inside of Virgo. Actually, Jupiter, the weirdest thing ever, Jupiter's actually spends something like 10 months floating around inside of what you would consider Virgo's stomach before exiting out of her legs. And she happens to be right below Leo, who is considered a king, which would be the crown of stars. Leo has so many stars, plus there's like a planetary alignment that's right behind it, where the whole thing just it all kind of gets put together to the point that you look at it and you just kind of stop and you think, maybe this is a thing. Maybe this is actually a thing. I don't know. I'm just looking at it like, okay, whether or not it's a thing, then maybe I should double down on this whole, getting my ass saved stuff. I don't know. And that's kind of where I am, just as a precautionary system. I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to double down on this. Really, really look into this and kind of, get better with myself. And I've actually been listening to it, or I've been trying to listen to a lot of people. Angie B's father is or was a pastor, if you can believe that. So you would think that I have a direct guidebook right to this. And I have not been able to talk to him yet. When she gets back, the first thing I'm going to ask her to do is to hook me up with him. Because I think it is time. I've been avoiding it for a little bit. But now I think it's definitely time for him and I to get together on this, because if I'm having this much, I would figure if I'm having this much difficulty trying to figure this out, and there's something if there's something about the way that I'm living that is causing me to, what the hell? If there's something about the way that I'm living that's causing me to question what the hell I'm doing with my life, then maybe that's it. Maybe this whole thing is about, turning my life around and trying to get to it. I have a real hard problem with the timeline. I feel that I may be far too little, far too late. Because if this does come in September, and again, I'm not trying to do any fear porn here. I'm not trying to. It may sound like I'm crazy, and if it does sound like I'm crazy, then I'm crazy. I mean, it is what it is. But because I believe that signs are put there for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences. I never have. Because there are far too many coincidences in the world as it is. Once is a thing, twice is a coincidence, three times is a pattern. And that's something I used to say. I know it doesn't have any bearing on what I'm trying to say now. But basically what I'm trying to say is this is something I believe that is coming, and I'm having a really hard time trying to. I'm having a really hard time trying to put myself into the position that I don't want to have to suffer through. I don't want to have to suffer through tribulation, because they say that's what it is. It's the when this all goes down, when the world decides to just go ape shit, it's going to be called tribulation, and there's going to be 7 years of it, and that those that have been righteous in the Lord, and those that Jesus has picked will be taken up as part of the rapture. That they will not have to suffer through the bullshit that everybody else is going to have to put up with. And that scares me to be left behind. It really does. I don't know why it scares me so much. I mean, maybe that's part of this whole journey, is that, when you find out just how real it is, you start worrying about, well, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. It's very. It's weird. It's weird for me to say it. I know I said this in the last episode. Even just saying that I believe in God just seems weird to me, and it does. It seems very weird, but I have to believe it now. It makes more sense than anything else has made sense before. I feel it in my heart that this is it now. This is the way. This is the truth. It blows my mind that this is how it's gone, but this is how it's gone. And I have enough signs in my life. I have enough signs to point me, to show me, to say, well, this is right. This is right. You're on the right path. I've been listening to a lot of numerology, and of course, gematria, which is the study of numbers that the Illuminati love to have, but gematria is all over the Bible as well. And there are certain numbers that have meaning. One of the numbers is 40, and the number 40 is all over the Bible. There's several different places where it pops up, and it means something to it means something to these people, and it means something to Christians. Let's put it that way. And I look at what's going on right now, and I think, you know what? I just turned 40. And when I turned 40, I don't want to say it was exactly on my birthday, but it's enough for me to stop and look at it and say, I think there's a reason why it's happening this year. I think there's a reason why I'm being called this year. It's not just a midlife crisis. It's not just, I've finally hit the point to where I've started seeing that, my time is short now. I don't think it's just that. I think it's meant to happen. I've always contended and always believed that numbers play a big part in my life just as much as they play a part in everybody else's life. And just because the Illuminati believe in it doesn't mean that it's all bad. There are good numbers as well. One of my numbers has always been 3. I was born on the 12th day of the 3rd month in 1977. 77 within itself is a holy number. It's got to mean something. It's got to mean something. I'm not saying I'm like any special than anybody else, but for me, those numbers mean something. It's a thing to me, and I just. When you have a belief in something, then it may or may not, exist within your life. That you may make your own. You may possibly make your own reality. And that's a subject that I've been putting forward to myself lately as well. Is that the past. I don't even know how many years it's been. Past 10, well, I don't want to say 10. I want to say all 40 years. My whole life, when I've just recently looked back on it. And I think of all the negativity that I've had. And I think of all the positivity that I've had. And I look at it. And I think, when my life was that bad, it was because I thought my life was that bad. When my life was that good, it was because I thought my life was that good. And when certain things have happened, it's because I needed them to happen. So who's to say that this isn't all in my head? To me, it just, I think I don't want to say this is my reality, but there's moments where I look at it and I think, holy crap, this could be my reality. I don't know. And I say my reality as in, I could be the one that's made all this up. I don't see how I could have done that because, I can't think of backstories for all you people. I'm not that good. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good. Holy shit, you people have some amazing backstories. I don't know how the hell I could have come up with that. But it's something that's come into my head over the past couple weeks. And I told that to Angie B, and she couldn't hear it because she already has a problem as it is, thinking that, she is just getting grounded back into reality because of her life. Because she dealt with a very abusive asshole in her previous relationship, and she is she's just coming to terms with, getting back to her reality. And for that, I understand that. I understand where she's coming from with that. So, for her, it's when I say, you may be all in my head, she had a problem with that. And, she had to have a little breakdown. She had to have a little cry because she couldn't understand that what I was saying was, this is all like a hypothetical thing. Now, granted, she did exactly what I thought she was going to do, so that makes me double up on my understanding that, well, maybe it is something different. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying here, guys? Do you get the gist of what's happening? That I'm either losing my mind or I'm creating the concept of losing my mind. I don't know. It's all very strange. This whole little rant has gone off on a completely different tangent of what I was looking forward to saying, because I don't really know. I have been so confused over the past couple of weeks. Not only with, trying to get myself as right as I can and failing horribly, but to also just trying to figure this all out. Because I do have a problem with this. I mean, I don't have a problem with completely becoming religious and finding God, and because this is, to me, this is a blessing. This has been a blessing. I see the world in a completely different light. I see everything in a completely different way, and I understand that, yeah, there is somebody that's out there looking after my best interest, and I thank him for that. And I know that he's always been there for me, even though I chose to deny him for so long. And I still constantly ask him just to forgive me for just the stupid nonsense I've done. Stupid nonsense. Come on now. I went into a chat room last night. It wasn't really a chat room. It was they were doing live video on YouTube, and I asked them. I said, "Can I ask somebody in here to pray for me? Because I'm having a hard time getting out of my ways. I am having a really hard time getting out of being, I don't want to say a horrible person. I'm not a horrible person. I understand what sin is, and I would like to not do it anymore. And I think that's part of that process too, is when you come to terms with not wanting to do it anymore. I think that's when you know that there's something right going on. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense to anybody? Is anybody even listening? Is this thing on? But I think that's part of it. I think that part of the whole soul searching of this, in that when you come to terms with what it is that's going on, and you start realizing that the things you did were not good, I think that's when you start realizing that this is a good thing. This is the right thing to do. this is the way it's supposed to be, and I think that that's where your life starts turning around. Boy, my friends, I have thought about it a lot because, again, my friends most of them are either hardcore atheists or they are straight up Satanists. Or pagan. I don't know any straight up Satanists. I know there are a lot of pagans, a lot of people that consider themselves Wiccans. And, they're all Earth Mother. I'm sure I probably have a couple of Cthulhuans. The ones that believe in Cthulhu. I know I have some that believe in Bob. I don't know which religion that is. I know that that's a thing now. Bomb, great bomb in the sky. I don't know what the hell. I don't remember what that one is. But I have so many friends and they just don't see. They just don't. I've got conspiracy friends they want to go on every conspiracy trip ever. And they will deny that there is any possibility that, the people at the top are Satanists or Luciferians or, whatever you want to call it. And that's fine. That's fine. You can believe whatever you want. I'm not going to take that away from you. But some of these people, I just want to sit down. Smack them in the face, and just be like, all right, so you don't think that these people that rule the world right now are satanic or anything like that? That's fine. But you have to understand that the people that are keeping you down, and believe me, a lot of my friends, they're not millionaires, they're not rich, they're hardworking Joes. Most of them have problems, just like everybody else. I just want to look at them right in the eyes and say, if you think that, you may not think that the people that are running the show are Satanists, but they have satanic tendencies, and these are the same people that are keeping you down. They're the same people that are, making your life a living hell. And there's part of that I look at and I think, why would you want to continue, backing these people up if they're going to be like that? Because seriously, when you... Why is that not going? Oh, come on now. When you look at what some of these people do, the secret nonsense and the whole thing of just the pedophilia that nobody seems to see, or the signs, the hand signs. I've been a metalhead all my life. I've put up horns more than my fair share. I know that in the metalhead community we think that was Ronnie James Dio, showing us that was a sign from his, what was it, grandmother? That's a sign for keeping demons away at bay, and all that. But if the mainstream general public thinks that is such a satanic sign, then why is it that every politician does it? That's the kind of shit I don't get. Why is it that all of these corporations that work closely with that some of these politicians actually own a stake in, why do they all have logos that you can see? It's a 666 in there. I'm sorry, wasn't 666 supposed to be the devil's number? It's actually supposed to be man's number. But I mean, isn't it supposed to be a satanic number? If these people are truly Christian, then why are they aiming themselves towards that? If these people are truly into helping people out and trying to better the world, then why does it seem like they're going out of their damn way to show just how evil they are? And then you get into the pedophilia. You get into the weird cult bullshit that they do. The friggin' it's not the Bilderberg meeting. It's the other one that they do out in the friggin' wilderness. The camp that they go out and they do the mock human sacrifices and all that. What the hell is that all about? You know? And my friends love to rally against Christians. They find a Christian, they will go out of their way to try to ruin their life and spoil everything that they're doing and all this. And I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, no wait, guys. I mean, it's one thing to pick on people that are don't have anything going on, doing nothing. It's another thing whenever you see that the people that are ruling the government, that are ruling our lives, are the worst people ever. These people are truly practicing Satanists. I'm not. I don't even know, and I can't open people's eyes up to that because a lot of them just won't hear it. They don't hear it. They won't see it, and I understand why now. It doesn't. It honestly doesn't bother me anymore that they don't see it, because that's what the Bible says, is that they will not see it. They will not see the truth because they are so enamored with their ways and, the lies and the deceits that Satan has shown them. I believe that 100%. I absolutely believe that 100%. That they won't see it. They're not supposed to see it. I've even said that to a couple of my friends that have told me I was crazy for following a rabbit hole down too far. And I said, that's cool, man, because you're not supposed to see. And that actually goes two ways, is that not only does the Bible say you're not supposed to see, but the government doesn't want you to see. You're not supposed to see it. And that's unfortunately how this is all going to pan out. That's unfortunately how it's all going to work, is that it's just going to become like that. Is that you're not supposed to see, and they're not supposed to see to the point that it's just going to come around and bite them in the ass. And that's the dilemma that I have, as well as trying to get right by myself. Is I want my friends with me. I enjoy my friends' company. I really have. I would like for them to be able to enjoy what's going to come, but I know that they won't. I know that they're not going to see it. Most of them I know will vehemently deny God in every way, shape, or form, because they think that He has hurt them in some way, shape, or form. And I know now that it wasn't God that hurt them. It was the idea of God. It was somebody in a church somewhere that decided that they weren't good enough. And it's not that you're not good enough, man. It's just you have to choose to accept it. There's horrible people out there that want to tell you that you're wrong for not believing, and I don't think it's like that anymore. I don't think that way anymore. I used to think that way, but I don't think that way anymore. I don't think it's because there's just bad people out there that, they want to tell you that you're wrong just because you don't believe. I think it's because there's just horrible people out there that are skewing it to the point that you just don't know anymore. But I have to stop for a second. So I shall be back. Alright, I'm back. I had to stop and redo the video and give myself something to drink because I'm kind of dying here. Dying just a little bit. I also kind of forgot what I was talking about now, too. In the end, though, it's hard to put... It's hard to put it into words, but then again, it's not hard to put it into words. I mean, honestly... Honestly, from top to bottom, I have fears and I have doubts that I will not be considered when it's time to be taken. And that I will be one of the ones that are left behind. One of the shows I'm watching, because one of the guys that I follow on YouTube suggested to watch is I've been watching. It's called The Leftovers. It's HBO series, and it's about all the people that were left over, that got left behind. After some kind of event that caused 2% of the world's population to disappear. Which, at first they were talking about it as if it were some kind of rapture. They're taking a different slant in the second season. I haven't watched the third season yet. But they're taking enough of a slant now where it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't a rapture anymore, maybe it's something else. Something far more dangerous. I don't know. But it gives you the idea, and I don't know if it's pre-programming, then man, their pre-programming is just crazy on this one. Because, you know, the government, the Illuminati pre-program you with shows and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody knows that one or not. But if it's pre-programming, then this is probably some of the sickest pre-programming you can get, because they are preparing us for people leaving. And they're basically saying, you know, when these people go, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just go, you know, do all of the stupid, nasty shit you could possibly do. Now, I'll tell you what, there are people inside of the show, they act like there's no laws. They act like there's no rules. It's sad to a point, but at the same time, you get it, you know, you kind of understand that, all right, yeah, I get this. This is, you know, this is the way that their world works now. Because honestly, if people considered it a rapture, then wouldn't you think that you're all in hell anyways? Why wouldn't you want to just go off and just be whatever, you know? I don't know. It's one of those things that it's another one of those things where I look at it and I think, I don't want to be a part of that. Because I know that if it is some kind of godly rapture, then, you know, what follows is supposed to be more worse than just being left behind. I mean, these people, if you want to believe the stories, you know, or if you want to believe the Bible, then what happens once the rapture occurs is that you get put through 7 years of hell. I mean, it's literally 7 years of just straight hell, and it's like I said, that scares the hell out of me. I don't. That, no pun intended, but it just scares the hell out of me. It really does. It because I've been on both sides of the coin. Because I've seen the best and worst of Christianity, because I've seen the best and worst of Satanism, because I've seen the best and worst of atheism, just whatever. Because I've seen the best and worst of everything, I know that hell is not a place that I want to be. Absolutely not. At one time, you know, when I was a kid, it was like, oh yeah, you know, sign me up for that. That sounds awesome. But I'm not that kid anymore. I'm not. I'm not that person anymore. It's all changed. It's all changed now, and I yeah, I don't want that anymore. And I don't want to be stuck here. I want to go off. I want to talk to my grandfather again. I want to meet him again in heaven or wherever we're supposed to go. And I want to tell him thank you. I want to extend out my hand to him like I never did whenever he was dying. He was on his deathbed, and he had a cardiac problem, and then he had a stroke immediately after it, and he could not communicate very much. Couldn't move his body. The best he could do was blink. It's like it's kind of hard for me to talk about. It's like this medication they had him on was doing something to him, and he had fallen at home. They brought him in, and they kept him in the hospital for a while, and he was doing just fine. And then, just out of the blue, he starts having heart problems. So they gave him something that put him in a coma. And he was out for a while, too. He was out for a good long while, and then at least a month. And then suddenly he was there. He was there, and he was fine, and they wanted to keep him for, you know, observation, because he was really he was there, but he was still hurting and still having problems. And when they I don't know where the edge is anymore. They were telling us that, you know, he'll be okay. There's nothing to worry about. You know, he seems to be a lot better now. That yeah, you just gotta. We want to run some more tests at least. Is this right up against the what? that he'll pull through this some way, shape, or form, and the whole thing. So we were taking them at their word, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, it's like he has this stroke, and at the same time he has some cardiac something, I don't know. It was enough to put him down, and that was pretty much his life for what he had left. He couldn't speak, he couldn't move, he couldn't communicate. He was stuck in a bed. He was asleep for a long, long time. At least another 2 months after that. Suddenly woke up. When he did wake up, the only thing he could do was blink his eyes, and he could kind of move his hand, and you could tell that he was in there, but that wasn't my grandfather. I don't know. That just was not. Whatever it wasn't cool. Let's put it that way. And I got to see him 2 days before he passed. And we went in there, and he was on the bed. And he was reaching his hand out to me. And if you saw any of the first part of this video, you heard me say that my grandfather's side of the family supposedly had healing powers, which, I mean, whether if you want to believe it or not, I had been known to take away people's headaches before, just by touching them and just thinking about, taking the pain away. Or I have been known several times to take a person's back pain away. I'm one of the few people that Angie B says that I'm able to just touch her and heal her, not make her. She has nerve damage in her back and her shoulder, and I'm able to find the sweet spot every time and take it away. But the one time that my grandfather needed me, I didn't. I didn't want to take his hand, and that hurts. That hurt a lot to me. Because I think back on that, and it's like, what if, what if that was the touch that he needed? I don't know. And this all goes to a very metaphysical, weird realms, I guess you could say, that you either believe it or you don't believe it, I guess. But I in pulling all this back together, I don't want to be left here. I don't want to be trapped on Earth. I don't want to be left in hell. I don't want to burn in hell. I don't want that. I understand what hell is. I've always understood what hell was, even though I chose not to believe. At best, I believe that we all went back to some kind of energy field that that when we died, that we would all be able to go back to this life stream, if you will, a little Final Fantasy reference, and that we got to choose, how we wanted to live our lives. Uh, I don't have the answers to any of it if it's true or not, guys. I really don't. Don't look to me for answers. I don't know. All I do know is that I'm not in that mentality anymore. My mentality now says that because I believe that the earth is flat, that God created this and that he put it in a book, and that book says without a shadow of a doubt that, the world you live on is a flat plane, and that when you die, you either get to go up to the second heaven to go with him, or you get stuck dealing with Satan because you just were not a good person. And I've been having a hard problem trying to figure out exactly what the right concept of being a good person is as well. Because I've considered myself a good person. At least I've tried to be a good person. I've done stupid shit. I've said that several times, that I've done stupid, dumb shit in my life. And unfortunately, I continue to do stupid, dumb shit. But I'm trying to move away from that. I'm trying to get out of that because I know it's bad. I just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anybody here kind of know what I'm trying to say? I don't really know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I really don't. I'm all over the place on this one, aren't I? I really am. I think when it comes down to it, I guess when it comes down to it, I guess what I'm trying to say more than anything else is, I'm just having a problem trying to keep hope. I'm having a problem. I'm not having a problem trying to find faith so much. I'm having a problem trying to keep hope that that all this is going to turn around in the end, and that I'm going to I will hopefully be chosen. I don't know if I will or not. I really don't know if I will or not. I'm going to keep trying though. I have to keep trying to be good. I have to keep trying to be perfect. I don't know, that it's never really truly explained, because when you hear the people talk about the Bible, you hear about the sins, you hear about the Ten Commandments, you hear about this and you hear about that, and at the same time, I hear that the Bible is considered a multifaceted book that there's a lot of literal terms, there's a lot of spiritual terms, and there's a lot of rhetorical terms. Well, I don't know if rhetorical is the right word. Illusionary terms? Illusion, is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word I'm looking for. That not everything can be taken literally, and that for each person, the Bible has a certain meaning. Because we all have our own free will. We're all able to decide what is and isn't right in the world. And I can believe that. I absolutely understand that logic that every person's Bible is different because they read it differently because every person has their own idea. But in the same concepts, um, there's the words don't change unless you're Mandela affected, and then the words change. That's another story. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. I actually did an episode on the Mandela effect. If you don't know what that is, go look that up. Um, I still am getting Mandela affected day by day. It's getting better. I've learned how to cope with it. I I I have come to terms with it, and I've made the whole you've been Mandela affected thing. That's what I call it now because there's nothing else to call it. It is what it is. It's an affection. It's you've been Mandela affected. And I think that there's a lot of people that have been affected. I think there's a lot more people that have been affected than will come out and say it. But there's just a lot more new things now. There's a lot more new concepts and ideas now than there were before about the Mandela effect. So I was hearing, and this is going to go on and off on another tangent, but that's okay because we're here, we're talking, we're doing our thing. So I've been hearing, in addition to CERN, which for anyone that has Mandela effect, you know what CERN is. Yeah, it's the Large Hadron Collider over in, was it Sweden, Denmark? On top of Apollyon's tomb, let's put it that way. But in addition to that one, they were making one in America, in Texas. Now, I have heard stories that, it's up and running. I've heard stories that it's abandoned, that there were some urban explorers that have gone to this place and found out that no, it's not running. It's just it's just a thing. I don't know what to believe because I'm not down there. I haven't seen it for myself. That's one of the biggest it's one of the biggest things I say about all of this is until you see it with your own eyes, you don't know what to believe. I really don't know what to believe when it comes to that. I believe in a flat earth because I've seen it. I mean, I haven't seen the flat earth, but I believe that it is a thing. I guess I should have said you can't know the truth until you see something for yourself. Let's put it that way. You can't know the truth until you've seen something for yourself. And that's the only way you can ever know truth. Everything else until that point is either a belief or an assumption. And I'm not assuming that the world is flat. I'm not assuming that the Bible's real. I believe it. I mean, and that's something you can't shake. That's part of having a belief, is that it's an idea that cannot be taken away from somebody. It's a belief. It's an absolute belief. So as far as the possible Hadron Collider in Texas working, I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I know they did make one, because I do remember back in the 90s when they were talking about it. And I remember when I first heard about the one in Denmark, Sweden, wherever the hell it is, I remember saying, but didn't we already do this? And that's why I remember saying that, because I remember in the 90s we were talking about this. Because they said it was a big, huge circle that they're pulling out, and they're trying to split atoms, and they're trying to do this, trying to do that. I remember that, because I was a science kid, guys. Remember? You remember whenever I kind of, well, you may not remember, because you don't watch that crap. You guys never watched that other episode. But I'm a science kid. Always have been a science kid. I have no problem being a science kid now, except I do not subscribe to scientism. I absolutely believe that science is about proving theories. That's exactly what science is. Down to its core essence, science is about proving theories. Because you have a theory, use a scientific method to prove it. Anything that is non-provable, it's not provable. It shouldn't. It's a moot point. You should just try to prove something else then. That's as far as I'm concerned, is the scientific method. Now, scientism is this new belief that, well, because somebody's already done it, we don't have to do it, and that whenever somebody that's smarter than you says something, you should just go ahead and believe it because it's probably true anyways. That's scientism. I don't believe in that shit. I never have. I have believed that everything in my textbooks at school were true. That's just called indoctrination. But, I don't like believing in something for the sake of believing it. That's dumb. Okay, let's put this another way, because somebody's going to turn that around on religion on me. I don't like believing in something because I'm told to believe in something. And that's what a lot of scientism is now, is that you've got scientists out there saying, if you don't believe in what we say, then you're just an idiot. It's pretty much what it is. I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk before, man. And when he says, you should just believe in what we say because we've done this already, it's like, well, just because you've said that you've done this already doesn't mean that I may want to do it. And it also seems like every time you try to question it, it comes down to, holy shit. Apparently I already knew about this. But every time, you try to question something that they say they've already done, it just comes back around to, well, you don't need to worry about it. We're scientists. We've done this before. It's like, but that's not how science works. That's not how any of this works. If you have a question, scientists or scientific method says you should be able to question it. That's how that works. That's literally how that works. And you go off and you look at it and you prove it. And if you can't prove it, then it's still just a theory. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Am I right or am I wrong? Sorry, I had to do a little bit of fighting there. That got a little intense, didn't it? Holy shit. But am I right or am I wrong? If you've got a theory about something, look at this. Good lord. That, scientifically, you're supposed to prove it. These guys haven't proved shit, though. I've heard scientists sit there and say, well, there's X planets in the world because of this, or there's X planets in the universe because of this, and that, and all that. There's a thing called gravity, and we don't really know how it works, but it's kind of a thing, and yada, 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 and all this stuff. It's like, but you can't really prove it. And if you can't prove it, then it should remain a theory. I mean, I understand how gravity works. I understand how they think that gravity works. But they haven't proven it to me yet. Apparently, the studies that they have to show that it works, it doesn't work all the time. There's the pendulum thing that they have that's supposed to show the rotation of the Earth. That doesn't work all the time. And even then, when you when it comes down to the whole, well, exactly how big is it? How big is the planet and all that? When you figure out the numbers and you find out that there's no damn curve to a ball that we're supposedly living on. Oh crap. It begs other questions. Well, then how big is it? Is it wrong? Could we have been wrong all this time? Could maybe, we try to figure out something better than what this is? But they won't do it because they say that this is the law. That's like Judge Dredd. I am the law, That's scientism. That's straight up scientism. That's all that is. Is when they refuse to. What the hell am I doing? When they refuse to just look at it and think logically, that's what I don't like. But I am a science kid. I know how science works. I like science. Science is not bad. Scientism is bad. So, I don't even know how that relates to anything. I don't know how we got off on this tangent. I know that I'm down in this damn hole now. And even though I could use a lot of this crap that's down here, I know I'm going to get lost. I know I'm going to get lost. Does any of this make any sense to anybody watching this? I'm sure if you're watching it, if you're not bored out of your mind and turned it off already, you're probably thinking, man, this kid's a fucking asshole. I can't even say kid anymore. Oh my god, I just called myself a kid. You gotta be kidding me. Seriously though, there's a lot of stuff that I have on my mind. Just a lot of issues. A lot of it, like I said, has to do with religion. It has to do with me finding my way towards God and finding my way through Jesus. Hoping that they they understand that I'm trying to be the best human being I can be at this point. Um, I have weakness. All men have weakness. And that I am trying my damnedest not to be a hypocrite. I'm trying my damnedest not to be a hypocrite about it. I've been reading the Bible. I have, and in the book they actually use the term hypocrite, and I'm like, oh crap, that's a actual term in the Bible is hypocrite. And one of the worst things in the world, I cannot stand are hypocrites. That, they say that if you're going to claim that you're going to follow the word, then you need to follow the word. You can't just half-ass it. You can't be what was the term I heard today? Lukewarm Christian. Oh, okay, those are all what are they called? The silverfish, because they're taking so long to kill, or they're taking so long to break. Damn it. All right. But I'm the type of person that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it all in. I'm going to go all in. I can't half-ass it. And I think that's the biggest problem I got right now. Is that I can't just look at this in a sense of, oh, I can be better. I'm looking at this as a sense of, man, I've really fucked up, and I may be staring down the barrel of the gun at this point, and that I don't know if there is an exit for me. I don't know. Angie B tells me that she thinks that part of it is having a good heart, and that he capital will know if you have a good heart, and he will know that your intentions are true. And then you have other people that are saying, you shouldn't think it's the absolute end of the world, that even though it teaches us to be good and teaches us to live our lives better and all that, you don't have to walk the word every day, that there is a lot of it that is still open to interpretation, and that everybody has their own interpretation of it. And then there's still other people that you hear that they say, this is they say that the word is law, that that they wouldn't have written those words down if they didn't mean anything. I see you. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. Come on. I really don't know what to think. That's why I'm here talking, because I don't know. I really don't know. So Am I wrong? Am I being stupid? I'm sure there will probably be people saying, yes, you're stupid for even believing in God. And, to that I say, hey, to each his own. I, I used to believe that way. I did. I used to be right there. 100%. Dude, you are out of your mind if you want to believe in a God that seems to have abandoned us. That's exactly what I used to say. But now I understand that no, he never abandoned us. This is... What the hell is that? Is that a llama? Where are all these animals coming from, man? What am I building? Noah's Ark up here? God, maybe I am building Noah's Ark up here. But he created this place for us. And in this, I 100% believe that he created all this for us because he created us and he loves us. And I get what that means now. I understand what that means. It's he think of it like a kid with his toys. That or think of it like a kid that created a macaroni sculpture or something, macaroni painting, whatever the hell you want to call it. That when they make it, they're so proud of it. They don't want anybody to touch it. It's their creation. It's their thing. It's their one thing that they made by themselves with their own hands. And this is their thing. They love this. They love this. They cherish it. They don't want anything to mess with it. And they think of it as making it, and then just saying, look, exist in my world. But you have to understand that I created you. I made you. All I ask is that you follow my rules, and everything will be cool. That's how I see it. That's how I see it now. I can never understand the concept of why God back in the Old Testament was such an angry old bastard. That's the way he seemed. He seemed like he was. It's like every time anybody ever did anything, he's like, "No, I shall smite you off the face of the earth," and he just took his middle finger, flicked the guy out. Why he would destroy entire cities just for doing certain things. It's like, I get that now. He created all of this. And then, just on a whim, he decides to create us. And he says, okay, look, I'm gonna put you down there. He obviously loved it enough that he created us to walk with us, to talk with us, to have somebody to be with, because he did walk with a lot of people in the early days. He walked with them, he showed them things, he talked to them. And when he did this, he pissed off the angels, because he created the angels too. He created the angels and set them in the sky and told them that they have to follow certain paths around in the sky because that's his will, because he created it. But then the angels got pissed because they saw that he loved man, something that he created, more than he loved them. And they got pissed. So they came down and they corrupted this thing that God made. It makes sense in ways that I have never been able to fathom before. It's like, oh, he created this and they got pissed off. That's why they're trying to destroy it, because they are jealous. That's the devil's weakness, is jealousy. And it boggles the mind. It really does. That's where I'm at in my understanding of it. And I have to think that that I have to be on somewhat of a right track, because every time I talk about it, it's like I get this feeling like in my whole body. It's almost like goosebumps. And that's how I have always kind of known that I was on the right path. Some is that I get that feeling that there it is. It feels right. It feels right. It feels good. So I'm on the right path. I have to be on the right path. And since I'm on the right path about that, then I have to be right about other things too. Because it all connects. That's the biggest key to the whole system, is that it all connects in some way, shape, or form. It always has connected. And I just boggles my mind. It just absolutely boggles my mind. I don't even know. I am on my fifth or sixth tangent now. I don't even know how else to say it. But my eyes are open. My eyes are absolutely open, and I am doing my damnedest to open my heart, because I know that's the next step. Um, and like I said, I can only hope that he, capital he, and Jesus will see that I'm doing that. That I'm doing my damnedest to open my heart to this. That I feel lifted. I feel free now. I feel like for a long time that this has been held from me, and now that I see it, I feel like this is what I've wanted in my life for so long, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I really am. And I'm also doing my damnedest to try to let go of worldly things, even though that's the hardest part. I think that's the hardest part that I think human beings have, is letting go of their worldly things, because honestly, this is all we've ever had, is this life, you know. And I've got a lot of stuff. Oh, believe me, I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of cool stuff that I love, but I understand that it's not all about loving the stuff you got. It's about loving the next place you're going to. You know, putting your trust, faith, and love in Him, and letting Him take over. So it's the other thing that I'm coming to terms with, is that all this stuff that I have, even just playing this game, this means nothing. You know, it means nothing. It's all just stuff. It's all worldly possessions. Maybe that's what this is all about too. Maybe I'm coming to the terms of all of this that I've collected over the years, and I've got a lot of stuff. I mean, I got my whole room down here, my whole basement down here is just full of everything that I've ever had. You know, stuff that I've had since I've been a little kid. But maybe that's part of it too. Is that I need to learn how to just let go of this. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I am starting to get tired. I know I've only done 2 hours. I usually try to do 3 hours, but Right now, it just feels like I'm drained at this point. I need to go eat. That's what I need to do. And I need to go change the oil in my car, and I'm trying my damnedest to avoid doing that, but I need to do it. So thanks, you guys, for coming around and watching this. If you made it this far, hey, I salute you, because I don't know if I would be able to put up with this stuff. I always say I would do videos that I would like to watch, and some of these I always say I don't want to watch that crap. I listen to it, every now and then I'll listen to somebody's ideals. I've come to find out that just listening to people talk about God, talk about their relationship with Him, has proved to be pretty positive for me. I find it very uplifting. So I don't know. It's all weird. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, though. I appreciate it, especially if you've gotten this far. I ask anyone if you would keep me in your prayers. Know that I'm not just some guy saying that I want to change. I want to change. I want to change. I want to be taken up and be a part of whatever's going on up there. Because I don't want to stay down here and burn in hell with all this. Keep me in your thoughts and your prayers. Keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. No one else deserves us either. Really, no one else deserves that. We all come from a much better place. We all deserve to go back to a much better place. But thanks for watching. God bless you all. Jesus, just know that I'm trying. I really am. I ask you for forgiveness. I ask you to protect us from the wicked ways of evil men. And I know that something is coming. And I ask that you create me to be a part of it. Create me to be a part of your kingdom. People, take it easy. I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe out there, and just keep loving your heart. I think that's the most important thing. We'll get through this, hopefully. People, take it easy.